Hello.
Hello. Hey, Auntie.
Hey, girl.
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's
How's school going? How was class today?
it was good.
It
How
was
was
good.
mm-hmm.
It was okay. It was good. It was good. You thought I wasn't gonna meet you on Zoom?
I don't know. I was just double checking.
I know I have a hardest time with the sending the link for some reason. And like, well, I can send it up, set it up, but finding it, I'm just like, even if I send it to myself, I don't know how to maneuver through.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you got it. So, how are you feeling about class now? You guys did chapter 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
So how you feeling about that? Or
I didn't really do too good on that quiz she gave us, but it's a long story. Like I got to class at like 8:15, so I wasn't really paying I wasn't really locked in, so
why were you tardy?
because I thought class started at 9. I forgot it started at 8. I've got my days mixed up or something.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you didn't come after the 9:30, 8:30,
Yeah, so I
because you would
was
have been stuck outside.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
doors lock at 9:30. I mean 8:30, Riley. So do not be late. But
8:30.
okay, so that's good. She even allowed you to take it.
Hmm.
So people must have still been taking it. Okay, so what was the questions on there?
Um, it was it was the stuff that I already knew, but like one of the things it said A through T, and I was kind of confused, but I know that's the transfer zone thing, right?
Wait, A through T? No.
I
So
mean
you
A or something. It said A. That kind of threw me off.
well, if you're talking about A through, what is the 10th letter in the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Yeah, T. So that's primary teeth. That's baby teeth. So baby teeth are not numbers, they're letters, starting
Oh,
with A all the way through A,
oh,
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, A through J at the maxillary, and then it drops down K through T at the bottom. So that's primary teeth. But the other thing that you're talking about probably is the transfer zone. Is
hmm.
that what you mean?
But I wish I had I took a picture of it, but I don't remember it. But it was that quiz that we took, the pop-up quiz.
It was a pop quiz.
Yeah, the pop-up quiz. Yeah. We took it right when we got there.
Okay. So, okay, yeah. So definitely it was questions from chapters 1, 2, 3. No, you guys haven't had chapter 3 yet. That's this week, right?
Hmm.
So chapters 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and no, it had to be for chapters 1 and 2 because you guys just covered chapter 4. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. So it was pop quiz for chapters 1 and 2. So what else on there? Does that make sense?
Hmm. Then I
So
forgot
the permanent teeth are numbered how?
2 letters.
Permanent teeth.
Oh, numbers, right?
Yeah, from what to what?
Oh, 1 to 16 and then 17 and 32.
Good, 17 to 32. Good. So what is the wisdom teeth or the third molars for the maxillary?
The wisdom teeth.
Yeah, or third molars. Mm-hmm.
What's the number, right?
Yes.
16?
Okay. What's the other one?
1.
Yeah. So 1 and 16. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the mandibular?
Um,
Molars, third molars.
17 and 32.
Good. So what are the four third molars? The four thirds.
4/3.
What you just said. Put it all together.
1 through 16, then 17.
No, it's not 1 through 16.
Oh,
I'm
1, 16, and 17 and 32.
good. Just those specific four tooth numbers.
Okay.
Okay. So the other name for wisdom teeth is what?
Um,
What kind of molars?
molar,
Yeah,
third,
third. Good. Third molars, wisdom teeth, same thing. The four wisdom tooth numbers are what?
1, 16, 17, and 32.
Good, good. So for tooth numbers 22 and 27, what kind of teeth? What's the name of those teeth? Since you just told me third molars, what is 22 and 27? What kind of what's the name of those two teeth?
22 and 27. Um, cusp, no, is that
Yeah. Cuspid,
cusp?
but that's not a very popular name. It's not a very popular name. So what is the better name to help you identify? Not cuspid, but
King,
yeah, say it again. Say it.
king, no, king.
Huh?
I don't know how to pronounce.
Yes, you do, like a dog.
Canine, king.
Yeah, canine. Canine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so canines is 22 and 27. 22 and 27 is at the maxillary or the mandibular arch.
Mandibular.
Good. So the maxillary
Mm-hmm.
canines are what numbers for the upper? What
6.
are the, huh?
Is it 6?
Yes, and
11.
good. So the four canines in a patient's mouth is going to be tooth numbers what?
22, 27, and 6 and 11.
6, 11, 22, and 27. Yeah, yeah, good. Okay. And baby teeth are identified as what? What's the name of baby teeth?
Wait, no.
Yes, you got to go with what you feel, right?
Primary.
What is it?
Primary.
Primary. Baby teeth is primary teeth. Okay. Primary teeth. It's basically primary. And then what is adult teeth?
Primary.
Permanent.
Primary.
Primary. We lose all of the primary teeth and then we get permanent teeth. Okay, perfect. Okay. What is the part of the tooth where the nerves and the blood vessels reside?
The part of the tooth.
Yeah, so you know the layers of the teeth.
Mm.
So let me see your book. Turn the page to where it shows the different layers. Yeah, what page is that?
5.
5. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you can?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over that page, so make sure you're looking at that page too, okay? And some of the words might be different too, but, so this is the tooth, you can see the entire tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Entire tooth, but really you gotta look at it separately, okay? Because you see this pink right here, that's the gums, the gingiva is the gums, okay? And you see all of this, the part of the tooth that is above the gums. Basically, like when somebody smiles, all of what we can see, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's out of the gums, right?
Yeah.
That is called the crown of a tooth, a crown,
Okay.
okay? And then the same tooth, but the part of the tooth that is in the bone, in the gums, this is the bone, the tooth lives in the bone. The part of the tooth that is in the bone, the part, if we smile, we cannot see, is called the root. Okay, so the root plus the crown equals the entire tooth. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so now do you see, so basically it's two parts. It's the root and the crown coming together to make up the entire tooth. Okay, so now on the outside the of the crown, right? Because is the crown in the bone or is it above the gums?
Above.
Yeah. So the part that covers the outside that covers the crown is going to be enamel. And you know, like toothpaste and things like that, it talks about strengthen your enamel, strengthen your enamel. And the reason for that is because the enamel is the most outer surface of the tooth. Okay, so enamel, then imagine us traveling in. So once we pass through the enamel layer, we arrive at dentin. Okay, so dentin is under the enamel. Okay, dentin actually makes up a lot of the tooth. They call it like the bulk, bulk, of the tooth because there's a lot of dentin filling the entire root and crowns of the tooth. Okay, so you got me, you with me with enamel and then dentin.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if we keep traveling, because we're traveling in, now you get to the actual nerve, which is the pulp. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Pulp, the nerve is all the same thing, okay? Um, so the pulp and the nerve is all the same thing, right? So basically, what you want is you're gonna separate, you see the gums right here, right? You gotta separate it right there at the neck because the port the part of the pulp that is in the crown, this part, you see all the blue, yellow, all of this?
Mm-hmm.
This part of the pulp is called the pulp chamber. Pulp chamber, pulp canal.
Okay.
Okay, so that makes up the pulp. I like to, let me see, keep annotate. Like right here. Okay, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
So this right here is the pulp chamber. Okay, like all of this because it's in the crown. And the same thing, like the pulp that is in the root. Do you agree that the ones I'm circling, it's in the root? It's in the bottom portion?
Yeah.
of the tooth.
Yeah.
So the part of the pulp here and here that is in the root is called pulp canal. So really, pulp canal and pulp chamber is the pulp. Does that make sense? Basically, they're kind of just dissecting one thing, just like, like the root and the tooth, I'm sorry, the root and the crown equals the tooth. The pulp canal and the pulp chamber equals the pulp. Okay, so don't let it confuse you. It's just located in different parts of the tooth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if it doesn't, so I can try to explain it. But yeah, okay, so when it comes to the tooth, like I said, the tooth lives in bone. It lives in bone. And that is why when we see our patients, we want them to keep their bones nice and healthy. We want them to floss. We want them to come to their dental visits because the bone is the foundation. Okay, so if a person has not good foundation or basically not taking care of their teeth, the foundation is going to start to soften. It's going to start to get red, irritable. And now the tooth that was once stable and healthy, it starts to be more mobile and unhealthy. Okay, so the person's bone health will definitely help them keep their teeth a whole lot longer. Okay, so a tooth lives in bone. The part of the tooth under the gums is the root. The part above the gums is the crown. The portion of the pulp in the crown is the pulp chamber, and the pulp chamber leads to the pulp canal. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then so right here, this is the root tip. The root tip is basically where the apex is. Okay, so that is a very big, important word that you need to know. Apex, apices. You see that in your book?
Mm-hmm. The
So
first one.
basically, the apex is the root tip. That's all that is. So right here, this right here is the root tip. Apices, or this is one apex, one apex. Okay, got it?
Mm-hmm.
So just think about like the blood flowing. The blood flows through, and I think about the apex like a doorway. Like it's what the blood and the nutrients, whether it's good or bad, it's flowing, coming through the tooth through the apex. It's like the doorway. In and that's where the traffic is. Okay. So the blood comes through the apex, travels through the pulp canal, through the pulp chamber, back down the pulp canal, out the apex, back around through the apex. So circles and circles and circles. So you'll learn this weekend when you take an x-ray, you need to have the apex on the x-ray. Okay, and the reason why is because if there's a big, say this red that I'm drawing, say it's a big infection on the tooth, right? If you take your picture, if you take your x-ray and you cut off, if this is your x-ray and you don't capture this apex right here, we'll never know if an infection is there. You get what I'm saying? So you'll learn this weekend a certain type of x-ray called a PA, a periapical x-ray, is one that when you take it, you have to be sure to take to capture the entire tooth, including the apex. Because the apex is the doorway, the traffic, where the traffic is. If the blood is healthy, the apex will look great. But if the blood that's passing through is infected, decayed, diseased, there's going to be a big abscess at the apex. And because you took a great x-ray, we can see the infection. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So apex is root tip. Apex is root tip. So just imagine, like I said, just imagine it being flushed through the tooth. Apex, uh, pulp canal, pulp chamber, back out, out and out and out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But enamel, dentin, pulp, lives in bone. Okay. So what is the part of the tooth in which nerves and blood vessels reside?
With the hole.
Yeah, the pulp chamber for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the pulp would be a good answer, but if if the word bank only had pulp chamber, and the reason why is because in the pulp chamber it has the majority of the nerves and blood vessels. There's blood and vessels all throughout here, but the bulk of it is going to be in the pulp chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So what is anesthetic gel used for?
The numb,
The
the
what?
the area that's about to get what's it called? To numb it, right? Basically.
Yeah. But what is it called?
Oh, it's the topical called.
No, what is that area called?
Oh, buckle. Oh, injection site. Oh, okay.
Injection site. So you said everything great, right? But finish all the way through. So it numbs, it's going to numb, or it really, and when we say numb, we are literally talking like just a few millimeters. So it's very itty bitty layers, but it's very helpful for the patient's, just experience, I guess. So that's the injection site. Okay. Injection site. So would we place the topical before or after the doctor gives the injection?
Before.
Yeah, before. Like, think about it. Okay. So what are the three working zones?
Um, isn't it transfer zone?
Okay, good. Transfer, because that's where we're passing all the instruments. Transfer zone.
A patient and it's uh, the doc.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Doctor, or really most of us now we call it operator zone, because a lot of times we aren't doctors, but we are sometimes in that doctor's chair. So we call it the operator zone. And what's the last zone?
Assistant zone.
Yeah, good. Oops. Assistant zone. Okay. Those are the three zones. Good. Should you ever pass instruments over a patient's face?
No.
No, never, ever, ever. That's a very terrible thing to do. Okay. You always will pass it over what?
Transfer zone. Oh, the
Transfer zone.
oh,
No, the transfer zone, which happens to be where?
right here.
Yeah. What does your book say? 4 to 7?
4 to 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay. And what needles, scalpels, blades, anything that could be potentially dangerous, what do you throw it away in?
Uh, it starts with A, right?
A?
That red bucket thing.
It's red, and it may be a bucket.
I forgot
What
the
are
name.
those items? What are they?
I don't know.
Are they dull? Are they friendly? Are they
Oh, they're dangerous.
okay? Specifically what?
Needle.
Look at, yeah, but what is a needle?
What is the needle?
Yeah, like what is the characteristics of a needle?
Something pointy?
Okay, pointy, but what?
Sharp.
Yes, look,
Sharps contain.
sharps container.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it is a red. It happens to be red, but it's a sharps container. That's where you throw things that are red. So you saying, Riley, like I said, you saying all the right things. You just need to use the right terminology.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, let's see.
Oh,
And then what is the equipment used to properly sterilize instruments?
wait a minute. Um, that starts with S or no?
No, where are you getting S from?
It's that thing that just sterilize.
Hmm.
Oh, that's the one that I got wrong on the thing.
Okay.
I don't know
It's
what
an autoclave. Autoclave.
okay. Okay. Autoclave.
Autoclave, okay. Let me see.
Sterilize.
Can you still see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, it keeps all this stuff. Okay, so these are autoclaves. I don't know why that, but they look like this, right? And you probably seen them everywhere. Like they have them in medical facilities. They have them in tattoo parlors, piercing places, because this machine will kill everything, all bacteria, spores, and all that. So you really used to putting your things through the autoclave to sterilize the instrument. Okay, once it goes through, so there's a difference between sterilizing and disinfecting.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Sterilizing is getting all the bacteria
Good.
and and then yeah, that's basically it.
Sterilize, but what does disinfecting do? Does it kill
Um,
all of it
it
or?
doesn't kill all of it.
Okay, yeah, it kills most of it,
Most of it.
like some of it, but not all. When it goes through an autoclave, it kills all. Okay. Okay, well, that was good for the
I wish I had that.